Hello, my fellow Americans. I was traveling home today. I like being out, driving long distances, nobody around for 50 or 100 miles. Just the open road, you know, just tooling around looking at our beautiful country, and I always look forward to that. I never really realized how much I look forward to getting out of the city until I'm out. Actually, until I'm on my way back. It's very relaxing, your heartbeat starts to, your blood pressure starts to decrease, and you begin to kind of realize that you're kind of different when you're in wide open spaces than you are in the concrete zoo that we call the city. The thing that really concerned me, though, was I always felt a little agitated on the way home when I come home, and I could never really put my finger on why. And it suddenly occurred to me as I look back over the times that I've done it, it was a gradual increase in blood pressure, and your body starts to clench up a little bit more, and you just start seeing more people, and you start seeing more cops, and you start seeing flashing lights, and you just start seeing 4 and 5 cars pulling over other people, and the flipping off and the rest of the thing. But I think the thing that did it for me today was I was tooling around on Highway 20 on my way home, and it was just great, And all of a sudden, oncoming cars coming this way, and it was a cop car in a 4-wheel drive, whatever, Explorer, and he flipped his lights on. Everything went on. I mean, he flipped his highlights, his headlights came on, his overhead lights came on, and I felt outraged because I thought, here I am just enjoying myself, my blood pressure's down, I'm cruising, I'm just kind of relaxing, and this agitation factor just strikes just right in the middle of just doing whatever you're doing. You're not hurting anyone, there's nobody around for 100 miles, you're just tooling around almost with a smile on your face, and all of a sudden you got some guy that just basically, I took it as a sign of, this is my thumb. Hi, I'm from the state. I'm watching you. And if you don't do what I tell you, I'm going to stick the heel on the back of my neck and crush your skull. So I threw up my hands. I'm like, what? No finger gestures, please. And I realized, if he would have pulled me over at that moment, I would have been extremely agitated. For obvious reasons. But I take a step back and I look at things a little bit, and it still bothers me. But here's a guy that's just trying to do a job like I am. I mean, I'm not bothering him. Nobody bothers cops. But he's just doing his job. And so, although there's a variety of reasons why people get into law enforcement, and they've got, how many of them have PTSD, and the fact that the military is a common draw for law enforcement, and the fact that 1 in 4 has PTSD, and they don't know how to define it, and they don't know how to cure it, and they've got women jumping into law enforcement now, and now you're going to think I'm a feminist for suggesting that women shouldn't be in law enforcement. I'm only suggesting the consequences of what happens when we do that. What happens when we have... a question was posed to me once: who's more dangerous, a 235-pound man or an 80-pound female? Well, the answer is the female, because the female doesn't really need any reason to justify using a gun other than the fact that she felt threatened. It's out of a woman's normal habitat to be able to put herself out there to be threatened, and her degree of being threatened can be much less than a man's. So it makes for a very volatile situation. Anyway, so the idea that I wanted to try to get across today was, there's no wonder that there's an animosity. I don't know that it's particular, for the most part, that it's cops just out there stirring things up and making people mad. They actually think that they're law enforcement officers there to enforce the letter of the law. There's no spirit of the law anymore. If something's written, no matter who writes it, law enforcement has to enforce it. So by doing that, they put this huge target on their forehead, which puts a big target on our forehead, and then we're going at it. So we have to look back a little bit farther and look at the fact that where do these guys get their jobs? Who hires them? What are they learning before they become law enforcement officers? And are they fit for the job? Or do we just need more law enforcement now because citizens have just become such criminals that we just need to get them to enforce the law? They won't stay within the speed limit. We're just going to get more cops, and we're going to raise more funds, and we're going to create more penalties, and we're going to do all of this to try to force them. And then when you ask somebody, officer, if we're a democracy, like most government people say we are, and the majority rules, and the majority believes in going 80 miles an hour over the speed limit, does the majority not rule? They don't really know what to say at that point. My question or my statement, I guess, is just what the hell is going on around here? You have law enforcement they believe that they're there to protect and serve, and when there's a multitude of Supreme Court Supreme Court opinions that say that that's not their job at all. Then you ask them if they're operating in the color of law, and they'll tell you yes. By definition, through Google or lawdictionary.com or whatever, it's anything that acts like they're acting in the name of the law that isn't law, and they're admitting to you that. So if law enforcement's job is not to protect and serve, and they're operating in the color of law, then why do they have any power and authority? And I'm not suggesting at this point to be able to disrespect them or anything like that. I don't even know that it's any good to approach them. I think it's good to gently challenge them and get them to think a little bit, but not much else, because the problem isn't necessarily with them. The problem is that the system is completely defunct. You have people that swear an oath in the military, and governors and congressmen and legislators. They've never even read the Constitution. I sound like a broken record, but isn't it important enough to just drive home to where somebody will just get so agitated that they're going to get up and say, you know what, I'm done not challenging the system? Anyway, I wanted to let you guys know that, it's no wonder that cities are more on edge. There's more ways that we can agitate one another. We all want to be in each other's space. We're all in a hurry where we're going. We all want to pay attention to our portable device. We don't want to say hi to our neighbor. We don't want to love on them. We don't want to love God. So we're violating two of God's greatest commandments. And we wonder why we have no foundation. Anyway, I just wanted to share that thought with you guys for what it's worth. Talk to you later. Have a good weekend. Bye.